Hello everyone, Keza here today, bringing you the Delving of Covetous. This is an epic dungeon event. If you're unfamiliar with what these are, it's basically the whole dungeon is a lot harder, all the same types of monsters, but everything is increased in hit points, damage, and loot. So, more fun in my opinion. I'm just going to be doing a quick run through here. This is my Frenzied Ostard build, using 8 Frenzied Ostards. Just going through and clearing level 1 right here. Skipping past some of the Harpies as they were already partly cleared. Before we move on, south of the Harpies is the Rogue's Passage. It's a unique area that's only open during epic dungeons, and what happens in there is just a lot of rogue gameplay. You can stealth in there and lockpick the 15 to 20 treasure chests that are constantly respawning. But if you get revealed, or if you step on too many traps, or happen to open a booby trap chest and then get revealed, your odds of dying are very high. So it's a fun little high risk, high reward area. Moving on, also on level 1 is the Gazers. There's also some custom Iron Gazers and Swift Gazers that also spawn there right now. And below that to the south is, of course, the Corpser rooms, which have a large variety of Corpsers, some of them that will slowly chase you, some of them will cast at you from a distance, but they also still have a lot of the normal ones there. All of it fun to farm, fairly low-end monsters, so even the epic versions of them are not very difficult to get through. An added bonus of farming these epic dungeons is there's a small chance at getting some unique rares, some books that are custom to the dungeons, and there's also a lot of statues to be had. The rates are pretty low because the epic dungeons are now 84 hours long instead of the old 48 hours. Kind of switch that, just so more people can enjoy them for a longer period of time. Some people can't do weekends, so now they're on pretty much all of Friday and Monday. Anyways, one of the things that spawns, or I should say is placed as a spawning rare in the dungeons, is the elixirs. They look like little bottles, and on this round they are golden. So I'm going to see if you can spot where this golden bottle is. It's actually in the area I'm farming. I'll give you just a few more seconds to look for it, and if you haven't found it, it is right there on top of the hay. Control Shift is not only good for grabbing monster health bars, it's good for seeing targets like that, but of course there's also a lot of other trash around, like regs on the ground and stuff that show up with Control Shift, so if there's too much clutter, that's not going to help you. You'll just have to use your eyes to see what it is. Moving right along, Covetous level 2 doesn't have anything really interesting at the entrance. There's just a few custom headless ones, which very oddly, 2 of them drop statues for me, which is, it seems strange because the odds of that happening are very, very low. With these epic dungeons lasting the 84 hours, the rate at which those statues are supposed to drop should be less than what I'm seeing by getting them back to back here, but hey, that's RNG. It's not something I staged or anything. This is literally just a run through the dungeon, and I happen to get 2 statues right here. So yeah, don't ignore all the small monsters as you're running through. Killing enough of them in any area will get you statues at some point. In the interest of time, I'm just going to skip past the level 2 Harpies here. There are extra water elementals in this little room back here. I'm not sure what you call this area. It's mostly an ignored spot in Cove, or Covetous. But yeah, there's water elementals here, and then just north of it is of course the Dread Spider. These are especially fun to farm with a bard, especially since there are now 3 of them while the dungeon is epic. And they come in variations. There's the regular Dread Spiders, the Burrowing Spiders, and the Grim Spiders. And you can provoke all of them onto each other. The rate of fail gets a little bit higher once the Grim Spiders come into the mix, but the other 2 you can usually provoke without much failing. Moving on north to the Gazers. These are actually the Elder Gazer area, or is the Elder Gazer area. and it's the only place where I had a single pet death. Just couldn't take on that many casters at once with the more fragile tames I'm using. But they did plenty of damage, so I got them all down. And also, while the dungeon's epic like this, if you go up to the north and then east area, you can also get to the Rogue's Passage that way. It actually creates kind of a bridge between level 1 and 2, but not one that you would use if you're not a rogue. And areas like this actually create a great farming opportunity in general for just raw gold. I'm not even through level 2, and I just had to throw about 3k on the ground because I was overweight and I just want to get through it to make a video with it. So I was like, whatever, I'm just throwing the gold. You will come out with a lot of gold really quickly, and your chance to find platinum and statues and rares and all that is also, you know, there when the dungeons like this. The thing I didn't run into on this run, because I did it kind of on off hours, is I didn't run into PKs. If you're trying to do these epic dungeons during prime time, just be aware that you will probably run into reds, you know, PKs, people just coming in trying to get some kills in and maybe loot your gold, loot your stuff. Some of them do, some of them don't. In any case, just be aware they could be there, and you should bank more often than I do, because you shouldn't get overweight with gold to the point where you're throwing it on the ground. Skipping ahead to level 3, entrance has, you know, by default it's got like zombies and skeletons and stuff on the edges here. So of course these epic ones are also very easy. You could kill them with a Paradexter if you wanted. I've seen people just sitting here throwing blades on either side to try to get as many kills as they can. There's lots of ways to do it. And then up further north, of course, is the Lich Room. I've seen a lot of people here. This is one of the most trafficked areas. It's kind of like, I guess you'd call it the heart of Covetous. It kind of leads off to level 4 and 5, or the dungeons and the cells. I didn't really spend time using my Ostards to kill a bunch of dragons, and that's mostly because there was an ancient dragon down there at the moment. That's what you call the epic dragon bosses. And they're very strong. They would just demolish my whole Ostard army in a few hits. Partly because that particular one has an AoE that's very nasty against pets. So I wasn't about to go waste my time and have lots of pet death. Anyways, I went back up to the Lich Room. The Grim Liches, even with Frenzied Ostards, take a while to plow through. They have massive hit points, and their casting is pretty nasty. So they're a fun little challenge if you're a tamer, or even if you're a Provo Dexer. It takes a while to kill them using silver weapons, and you can Provo them, just you'll have a few fails. Of course, to the north of here and then the west is the cells that has all the wraiths and the skeletons and the rotting corpses, which also have toxic corpses, but I'm not going to show that with the Frenzied. I actually did another run through that was a lot more fun with the Naturalists. A little event hosted by Vincent. Ran around with 8-ish other people, maybe 10, and we just cleared the dungeon, went through everything, had a boss fight towards the end. So if you want to watch that, I am piggybacking it onto the end of this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the quick version of this video. If you have any comments or questions, you can always leave them. And I'm just going to run through the gameplay here of the Naturalist run. So thank you for watching. See you guys around in game sometime.